Guys, can I talk trade deadline a little bit? Is that all right?
Sure.
Or are we too early?
No, go for it.
So, the more I read right now, the more realistic some of these players' availability becomes because the teams are really getting to a bad spot. They're going to have to sell off and rebuild, and they're on expiring contracts, some of these guys, right? So there's three in particular, though, that share a common denominator that I think are guys that we have got to look at, right? So it's Brian Burns, Patrick Surtain, and Jerry Jeudy. And what they have in common is they're all on rookie contracts, right? So that means their cap hit, each one of them, is only like $4 or $5 million bucks. Like if you look at Cortland Sutton for Denver, he's been extended, so he's like 12, 13 million on a cap hit, right? So I don't know if I'm being too greedy, but could we get 2 out of 3 of those guys? I mean, any 2 out of 3 sounds awesome to me, right? I mean, because go ahead, say 2 of their names, any 2 you want, right?
Yeah, they help.
But I'm just saying, like the total cap hit is like $8 million for 2 of them in certain cases, right?
I guess I look at it this way: if you're Carolina or you're Denver, you're the owner of either team. Do you feel like you're already starting at the basement level and you're starting to build up with Carolina, or do you think that you're just doomed to being an awful team for the next several years?
Well, the question is more with these guys having expiring contracts.
No, I know what they have, but I mean, I guess my point is, if I'm Carolina,
I didn't make the point.
If I'm Carolina, I think that I like the team that in terms of the talent that I have around me, and I'm going to want to hang on to Brian Burns to ensure that that's part of our team moving forward. If I'm Denver, and this is a dumpster fire, you might have a point of being able to get something from Denver because they're just going nowhere.
Your point is excellent from a Lions perspective.
Hang on to Brian Burns.
Well, but hold on.
If he doesn't want to stay.
If he doesn't want to stay. Your point is excellent, though, from a Lions perspective. Those teams are going to want to ship off the veteran contracts. Right? The rookie contracts are the ones that they're going to want to keep, and they're going to have to get some semblance of a clue as to whether or not they can keep those guys around. But teams in those positions are trying to unload the most expensive contracts with players of value. Now, they might not have those players, but you're right about the Denver situation. I mean, Surtain's contract his cap hit is 5.71 this year and 6.69 next year.
Look, if Burns doesn't want to be in Carolina, I get it. And look, that's the first name I bring up. I like Brian Burns a lot. I love to have him on the Lions. But if I'm Carolina, I don't want to get rid of him. And if he doesn't want to be there, you might even think about the franchise tag with him, make him stick around for another year, show the team can improve, and then try to renegotiate at the end of the year next year.
But those rookies, they certainly are more financially feasible to fit under the cap. It's a great point. 248. You just got to convince those teams to give them up to you. And
I mean, he brings up both players. Can he get 2 out of 3? If you could tell me that you can get Jerry Jeudy and Patrick Surtain from Denver, what's the cost? And again, would this be a rental, or is this something once you got them, you're going to try to re-sign them? Because it's going to compound the price that you're paying. Not only are you paying a hefty price because of draft capital, but then you're going to have to put down some money to hang on to. And if you're going to hang on to one, I'd assume it'd be Surtain as opposed to Jeudy.
I always think of it, if we're doing this talk show in Denver, I'm asking for a bunch of picks, and including a first rounder.
But we know how this works in the NFL.
You are giving the Lions. Yeah, I'm often surprised at how little you have to give up. I'm just telling you what I'm saying. If I'm in Denver, if I'm in Denver, thinking if we give the Lions these guys, our pick is minimum in the 20s that we're getting back. So we need that and second and maybe something else. And you go, oh, that's way too much. Yeah, I'm doing a talk show in Denver. You're damn right I'm asking for all that, at least as a starting point in negotiations.